Pagan Perspective. It's Elliptica24, and this week's topic is talking about schools for paganism. I wanted to make a note before I answer the question. Next month we will be answering personal questions. So if you have any questions for me personally, leave them in the comment section down below. I would absolutely love to answer questions, as many as I can, so please add some. Anyways, school paganism. I will post the question in the description below. But the essence of the question is, would I send my child to a school for paganism? Keeping in mind that the classes for paganism would be the electives, as it would be still teaching regular math, writing, English, and all those required classes by law, just as, say, Catholic schools or other Christian schools do, and are required to also do. So, for me, I am a mother, and my child's about 8 years old. I think I have a bit of a special type of circumstance. My child's autistic, so the first thing I look into for a school is, what is their special education program like? Because with special needs children, there are definite needs that need to be met above all else. And then when it comes down to regular ed classes, so teaching like math and whatever, that absolutely has to be done. And then the electives, those often get left out. So far my son's been very lucky, and his special ed class is very inclusive with the regular ed, so they go to art, they go to library, they do extracurricular type activities. That being said, I probably would, and I know if I was a child, I would probably most likely be interested in going to school for paganism. But again, it's one of those things that it would be the quality of the school, because as we all know, a quality of a school is absolutely important to the education of the child. I would say if I had another child and the child was not autistic and didn't have any disorders or special needs, I think it would be very interesting to watch how the child goes through it. Would the child go through what I've seen people in my life that have gone to Christian-based schools or Catholic schools and come out really disliking the school itself, and like the education was fine, but the social aspects of it were harsher even than regular public school. It's hard to explain. Would that also happen in the pagan school? Would there be like an elitist type mentality? Because you can think education is absolutely important, but also school is there to educate children on social behaviors as well, and that's extremely important. And in any school, kids are going to get picked on. There's going to be cliques. There will be situations where other students may feel more, I don't know, I guess the best thing is like saying popular, because they have more knowledge or their family background's different. Because say one of the students' parents is a high priestess in Wicca, and another student is just general ed paganism, part of that, and who is really not established in any coven or anything. Would that person with the high priestess of a parent look down at the one who doesn't, or is not part of a coven? It's very interesting to kind of comprehend like what kind of things would bleed into a pagan school, because think we all like to idealize things, and a school is a school, regardless of what's being taught. Would being a pagan school have less violence? Would it have less cliquish behavior? Would there be more understanding? Because even within the pagan community, there are cliques as adults, and those cliques could be considered covens. It kind of depends, I guess. There are people who feel they are more important because they're educated in a specific area more than others. That is what I would kind of fear for my child at a pagan school, or any school in general, is how would the beliefs be enforced? Because it's so hard to say, because the theory of a pagan school, or the idealism of a pagan school, absolutely, I agree 100%. Like, I love the idea. But maybe there are kids who go there that the parents want them to go, but they themselves are not pagan. Is that fair to that child to go to school in a place where they're the minority and don't believe it? Also, I remember going to public school, and I would remember before school started, there would be a circle of kids around the flagpole praying. And that always boggled my mind. It's like, why are they doing that at a public school? It doesn't seem to be appropriate. I think religion and school often should be separate, because there tends to be a blurred line at times, especially in the South. I have lived in the South, and there's some interesting situations going on with a lot of the teaching and the schooling and what they're trying to teach. But that's a whole other topic. I know this is going to end up being very long, but it's quite a fascinating idea of a pagan school. Like I said, the idealistic view of a pagan school, with pagan classes being elective, and so I guess in theory would not be forced upon anyone, is a very interesting idea. And I think, generally speaking, I would probably go if I was a kid, or have my children go there, in hopes that they would teach better than a regular school or a private school, and that their rules, though most of them would probably be carbon copies of public schools, that the idea behind paganism and some of the ideas of how one treats each other would be more enforced. I think when people think pagan school, if they're not educated in stuff, they may think like Harry Potter, and obviously I don't think that in a realistic view would ever happen. I mean, I think it would be fabulous if there was a class for herbalism, and how to make tinctures and all that stuff. That would be fascinating, because a lot of pagan stuff that we do is just naturalistic stuff, or holistic, which has been around for forever and has an application in the real world. I don't know. This is very much something to think about. And I think I'll probably make a video about this, kind of expounding even more so on my own channel, just because I know this is getting really, really long. But yeah, that's pretty much my thought on it. If you have any questions on this topic, feel free to leave a comment below. And also, don't forget to ask personal questions about my path, or about me, or whatever, down below as well. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.